Hi, I'm Tom Lydon, editor of ETF Trends here in Chicago at the Morningstar ETF Conference. And I'm here with Josh Charlson, who's Director of Managed Research of Alternative Strategies at Morningstar. Josh, thanks for being here.
Great to be here.
Great seeing you again.
Good to see you.
So, alternative strategies are very, very important for investors, but it kind of feels lately with a nice bull market, bonds have done pretty well in the last 5 years as well. Global equities have done well, and the dollar's been declining. Why should we think about alternative strategies?
Well, you're right. It's very easy to get comfortable and even complacent in this kind of market. And the truth is, when you look at a lot of these alternative strategies, they tend to be hedged against the market, so they're not going to look as good if you're just comparing them to the S&P 500 or corporate high yield bond index or something like that. So it's really thinking ahead and to what their purpose in your portfolio is going to be, trying to protect against those big downsides, get diverse streams of returns that are going to help smooth it out when that inevitable correction comes.
So to a degree right now, you're the voice of reason, and advisors that are looking at your research and sitting down with the clients, it's not a comfortable conversation or a fun conversation, because what they're suggesting is maybe backing off on some of the bond positions and the equity position and the global equity positions to alternatives that may hedge to some degree, but if these trends continue, feeling like they're not keeping up, right?
Yeah, well, there's a big educational component to it, I think, where you're talking about the overall outcome that you're looking for in a portfolio, creating a sleeve of different types of alternative strategies that are going to provide different types of exposures to the market, to different types of manager skill. So there can be, you're going to get some positive absolute return. You're just not going to look as good on a relative basis. So it's setting the expectations properly for the clients.
We're at an ETF conference, your ETF conference. So how is the ETF industry done as far as offering up alternative strategies for advisors and investors?
Yeah, it's really been growing. Right now, most of the money is going into the active strategies. And traditionally, if you think of hedge fund type strategies, you're thinking of active managers. But there are a lot of strategies where you can capture components of those types of strategies at a much cheaper cost. So there hasn't been a ton of assets going into those ETF strategies yet, but there's more available, and I think it's going to be potentially a very interesting area for investors to look at.
Great. Josh, thanks so much for your time. It's great seeing you.
My pleasure.